We have two emergency ordinances tonight that we must consider. And then we're also going to need to look at the fire ordinances in a little differently as well. We can do that later. But the first ordinance, that emergency item that I would like for us to consider, colleagues, is one that you were handed just a little bit ago. And we will need a unanimous vote to be able to add it to the agenda. And it is the ordinance that temporarily reduces to zero the salary and compensation of any vacant positions within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government and any positions that will become vacant within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government. And so with that, colleagues, I would like to see if we have the ability to add it to the agenda. All in favor? Oh, wait, what? I'm sorry? I need a motion. I made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All right, all in favor? All right, it carries unanimously. It is now on the agenda. Clerk, would you please read the item?
Ordinance of the Jackson City Council temporarily reducing to zero the salary and compensation of any vacant positions within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government and any positions that will become vacant within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government.
All right, colleagues, it is now on the floor as an introduction, but I would like to go ahead and get a motion, if someone would make the motion, to expedite this item for adoption. We also will need a unanimous vote to do so.
Can we ask questions
Yeah.
about it?
Madam Chair.
Yes, it is on the floor. Yes, we could. But would you rather ask questions first? Yes, you may.
You can talk
Mr.
about
Foote.
it.
I mean, if you need to ask questions now, I'd like to go ahead and just get all this.
No, I haven't. I had just got this, so I haven't read it all the way through. But my question in the title is, it says, in any positions that will become vacant within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government, is that forever, or is it just?
No, sir. It says in here until July 1.
Whereas is that? I just want to make sure I understand.
It is.
Second one.
Second one.
Thank you, Mr. Yes, second one.
All that says is we'll be sworn in.
It says on down, on the back. There's a back
Okay,
page.
all right.
Where it is through June 30th, 2025. It is therefore ordered and ordained.
And so the ordinance goes away on June 30th?
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't that say in the title if that was gonna, it strikes me as, okay.
You want it to continue past June 30th, Mr. Foote?
I don't know. I just was trying to find out the nature of this particular thing.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you.
Dr. Amari?
Okay, when you say within the executive branch, that's the entire City of Jackson. So you're saying there cannot be any hiring in the city through June 30th?
Except for we have excluded certified law enforcement patrol and combat fire.
Okay, even our city attorney's office that's been interviewing and trying to bring in
Yes,
new
ma'am.
attorneys?
That's what we're saying. Or that's what this says, yes. I don't think we can start pulling out departments and looking at each one of them individually on this. All right, colleagues, any other questions? All right, with that, I would like to have a motion to expedite for adoption this item that is before us. I need a motion.
To expedite for.
To expedite.
That's the
We're
right.
not suspending the rules because we're having to adhere to state law on this.
Okay, so I'll move to expedite.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Banks. And Mr. Hartley made the second. All right, thank you. All right, the item is now before us to expedite this so that it takes effect immediately. And so with that, colleagues, all in favor?
This is the expediting?
to expedite it.
This is not approving it, this is
It's
expediting.
expediting.
Okay,
Now, will the clerk please get it back on the floor? Read it
Okay.
as
we did
for
that a little
adoption.
different, didn't we?
Ordinance of the Jackson City Council temporarily reducing to zero the salary and compensation of any vacant positions within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government and any positions that will become vacant within the executive branch of the City of Jackson government.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Now, colleagues, any questions or comments on the item that is before us? Hearing none.
Madam-
Yes, Mr. Hartley.
Forgive me and maybe several of my colleagues, but we just got this. And
I
a
know.
little bit of understanding would go a long ways here.
Okay.
In trying to.
Mr. Hartley, I think that there is need for that we really need to hold off on hiring any more people in the city of Jackson between now and the end of this term.
Okay.
All right? Now, is there anything else to come before this
The end
body?
of next month.
Sorry?
The end of next month.
Well, it's until the end of the term, which is June 30th.
Right. But you said this month. It's
I
the
said
end-
this month.
Yeah, it's actually the end
Oh,
of
it's next
30th.
month. Thank you. This term. Yes, sorry. All right. I need all the help I can get. All right, Mr. Banks.
Just for the record, as we're talking about this, because I think it deals more with budgetary concerns. Mr. Millenbecker, you said that you were working on some of these vacant positions to deal with overtime costs, to deal with money that needs to go into the clerk's office, and to deal with other shortfalls. One, where is that plan? And number two, I guess my concern is, us being at risk of exceeding the budget during an election year. And so if you could speak to that, because that is still an overarching concern. Zeroing this, does that still make sure you have the money available to take care of those things? And is this going to be enough? Because these are still things that we have to take care of in short term that I don't see on the agenda today.
Right. Fidelis Malenbecker, CFO. In terms of the plan, I believe it's going to be presented during the next meeting. So we have to do a budget amendment next month, right, to ensure that we don't have lines that exceed the 75%. What we had discussed in the Finance Committee meeting in terms of addressing the issue within JPD and JFD is to move some funds from vacant positions during the first 2 quarters, use a portion of that to move into those departments so that they can fall below the 75% at the end of June, right? And so that amendment will be brought before you in June.
So do you have any idea of around how much that would be? And is the money there for the amendment or your proposed amendment?
Yes, in the Finance Committee meeting, I believe, and I know Councilman Hartley had asked for that number, it was roughly about $2.3 million in unspent salaries during the first 2 quarters. What we'll be needing to use, including the amount needed for the elections, will probably be around $700,000.
All right. And it was at your request, I believe, that you said that to make sure that we didn't cross any lines, that you and your office was going to either freeze or take over the budget from here on out.
That's correct. We're
Okay.
getting all that approved. Any changes to the
All
budget
right. And
has to come.
I just think this kind of aligns with what you said. I think the council just want to make sure that that money is there because 2.3 is a lot of money, for what we have left and what we've budgeted.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Banks.
Question.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
Thank you. My question is to legal. A few weeks ago, I asked for a memo telling us about how much money can be spent and the state law that dictates the election cycle, how much money must be left in the budget if there's a change in administration. I haven't received the memo. I hear what Councilman Member Banks is asking, and following along that line, I want you to kind of let us know as a body the maximum amount of money that must be left in the city budget for a new administration. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I have never heard what the fund balance is. And I know people are looking at spending other monies. We need to know what the fund balance. I done heard excuses, well, we're gonna get it, we ain't gonna get it. And Doc, maybe you can give us the fund balance, but I think the council members as a whole, we need to know what the fund balance and how much money must be left before a new administration starts.
Drew Martin, City Attorney. Councilman, we did prepare that memo, and I'm going to email it to you as soon as I sit down. I have it on my phone right here to send it to you. I apologize if we haven't sent it previously.
Well, don't worry about the email. You
Well, I just wanted you to know that we did not ignore that request, and we have performed that work, and I'm literally sitting here typing your names in right now. Having said that, the rest of those questions, and I hate to say it this way, those are math questions. I don't know those numbers. I can give you what the law says. I don't know account balances. I don't know the exact amounts applied to those percentages. I don't even know if I have access to that information, to be honest with you.
Now, what's percentage? Give us the percentage.
It's the 75% and the 25% is the number. We've got to have 25% of the budget still remaining with the 1 quarter left.
Okay, is that the
Yes.
total budget, general fund, everything?
There's some exceptions, but generally, I think that's the way you look at it. I mean, again, there's some exceptions, and they are described in the memo. But generally speaking, yes, what you just said, it covers everything.
To make sure that we're not violating any laws, with the legal department take the leadership role in making sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So if we, as a council, start voting on things that would violate the law, stop us.
Yes, sir.
Because we don't intentionally want to violate any state law.
So one thing I'll add to that, and I agree, if you will notice in almost every order that deals with finances that comes before the council this year, because of that, we include in the order a reference to the statute, a reference to whether the item would violate that or not. We include specific language in the orders that the expenditure is in compliance, and we don't approve it if it's not.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Councilwoman Clay?
My question is, in reading that, it said 25% should not be spent more than that of that line item during that quarter. So we keep saying 75%. So I think we may need to clarify what we are actually saying in terms of what the law says, because it states 25% of the line item. So if the line item is 100, we can only spend 25% of that in the quarter.
You generally would only, well, the most important part of it is only spending not more than 75% during the time period leading up to the change in administration and council.
I asked today specifically.
Yes, ma'am.
From the state, and they explained it a little different. So we just need to make sure, because I kept asking if we leave 25% in our budget, are we okay?
Well, that's
And
where the
not
exceptions
what it
come in.
says.
Fair
And there are
enough.
exceptions. There is an exception. Two laws are an exception, okay? And I understand that, but we need to make clarity on that 25 versus 75.
I think you'll find that it's addressed, but what I would suggest beyond that is I'd love to sit down with you and whoever it was that you talked to, and we'll revise if necessary to make sure the advice is clear.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Colleagues, Mr. Banks?
Yeah, just to give clarity to this, colleagues, I think, after hearing the last budget update, one of the things we learned, Councilman Stokes, was that we were just $116,000 away from the 7.5% rainy day fund, which is required for us to have emergency operations, which means if something was to happen, we only have 2 months worth of reserve budget to handle an emergency. Not a year, only 2 months. If something was to happen, we only have 2 months left to handle any emergency situation. The other thing is with the exceeding overtime in police and JFD, and Mr. Millen Becker made a request and said that from here on out to ensure that we did not exceed and we were able to exceed any line items, and that we were able to put money where money needed to be. So, for example, we know that the municipal clerk's office needs some money to pay for the elections. Whatever the total sum is, it's about $2.3 million that needs to be put back. This does not include the where we are as far as the general fund loaning to the enterprise fund for solid waste. So this is, times I don't think that this is personal. My reason for doing this is I think that we have, it's nothing petty. We have to make a decision because we are in no man's land when it comes to the amount of money that we are getting from Jackson Water for our solid waste plan. I mean, Mr. Melbecker, you said our expenses, our income was like around 960 something, but then our expenses are 1.6 million. That's not good math on any day. And so we're in a very unsure place. So not only do we have to take care of those things within the general fund, but we got to put some money over there on the enterprise side for the solid waste fund in order for the solid waste division to even just be able to operate. And this might not doing this action might not accomplish our problems. It's just a start. And so I just wanted to, as Chair of Finance, just kind of bring that to the attention just to make sure we understood why.
Madam President?
Yes, sir, Mr. Stokes.
Legal, could you give us a memo letting us know if there's any liability to council members if the threshold is not made?
Say that last part again, I'm sorry.
Whether there's any liability for council members if the threshold is not made.
If the law of the budget is not followed, I understand. Yes, sir, we'll look at that.
And secondly, again, from hearing what the chairman of the budget committee just said, it's kind of alarming to say the least. So I would hope somebody would come with stop spending. Everything got to freeze on spending. I mean, buying pens and everything else, because the alarm bell should go off from what he's saying. And that's why it's so important we know what's the fund balance. Money that's not already budgeted, because we probably had to use some of that money to get through this. So I hope the chairman would get all us a memo and any suggestions that he think need to be made or done to help us through this period that we're going through. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. All right, colleagues, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? It carries with a vote of 7-0. Thank you, colleagues, and I thank you for your